There are fashion moments, and then there are moments that seem to stop an entire industry in its tracks. When Jungkook of BTS walked onto the stage wearing a custom Calvin Klein look during the group's ARIRANG world tour, the reaction was immediate. Fans screamed, cameras flashed, social media exploded, and once again the BTS superstar demonstrated why his influence extends far beyond music. What appeared at first to be another unforgettable concert outfit quickly became something much bigger. Another chapter in what the fashion world has increasingly come to call the Jungkook effect. The youngest member of BTS has spent years proving that his ability to influence culture does not end when the music stops. His clothes, accessories, hairstyles, and even seemingly ordinary items associated with him can become objects of global attention. But his latest appearance in Calvin Klein during the BTS tour showed something particularly powerful. Jungkook did not simply wear the brand. He transformed the brand's minimalist aesthetic into a stage statement, combining denim, streetwear, movement, and his own unmistakable charisma into a look that felt simultaneously luxurious, rebellious, and completely natural. The result was exactly the kind of cultural moment that fashion companies spend enormous amounts of money trying to create. And Calvin Klein appears to understand that better than almost anyone. On August 2nd, 2026, during BTS's ARIRANG concert in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Jungkook appeared in specially created Calvin Klein pieces. For soundcheck, he wore a washed denim trucker jacket, distressed high-rise baggy jeans, and a rib tank featuring a hand-sprayed black to indigo gradient. Later, for the performance itself, he changed it to a lightweight bomber jacket and parachute trousers with a hand-sprayed black to tan gradient, again paired with the gradient rib tank. The details may sound simple on paper, but on Jungkook, they became something entirely different. The denim, the relaxed silhouettes, and the subtle gradient treatment fit naturally into Calvin Klein's visual language, while Jungkook's physical presence and performance energy gave the clothes a completely different dimension. This was not a studio campaign where a model stands perfectly still under controlled lighting. This was a stadium filled with thousands of screaming fans, powerful choreography, enormous screens, and one of the biggest pop stars in the world moving across the stage. Every turn, every step, and every camera angle effectively became another piece of exposure for the brand. And that is precisely why the Jungkook Calvin Klein partnership has become so fascinating to the fashion industry. The relationship has evolved far beyond the traditional concept of celebrity endorsement. Jungkook has been Calvin Klein's global brand ambassador since 2023. And over the years, the partnership has repeatedly generated enormous attention. In 2026, that relationship reached another level when Jungkook became directly involved in his own limited edition collection, Jungkook for Calvin Klein. Rather than simply serving as the face of an existing product, he participated in the creative process and helped bring elements of his personal style into the collection. Calvin Klein described the project as a limited edition capsule that reimagined iconic silhouettes through Jungkook's distinctive style. The response was extraordinary. According to reporting based on launch metrics data, the Jungkook for Calvin Klein collaboration generated a media impact value of approximately $3.4 million within 48 hours of its announcement. A short promotional video posted on Calvin Klein's Instagram reportedly generated another $908,000 in MIV on its own. Even more striking, product from the collection rapidly sold out across multiple markets. In the United States, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Italy, Poland, and other markets, fans rushed to purchase pieces connected to the BTS star. Reports from China were particularly dramatic, with the collection's leather jacket selling out in every size within approximately 1 minute of release. Suddenly, the question was no longer simply whether Jungkook looked good in Calvin Klein. The question became how much commercial power the BTS superstar could generate for the brand. And that question has been answered repeatedly. Even before the 2026 collaboration, Calvin Klein had already experienced measurable effects from Jungkook's campaigns. During his initial 2023 partnership, PVH executives reported a 39% increase in site visits across regions and a 150% increase in sales compared with the weeks immediately before the campaign launch. A denim shirt worn by Jungkook reportedly sold out on Tmall in China in only 30 minutes. Those numbers help explain why Calvin Klein continued to invest heavily in the partnership. Jungkook was not simply generating likes. He was creating measurable consumer attention. And in modern fashion, attention is one of the most valuable currencies a brand can possess. The latest concert appearance added another layer to that phenomenon. When Jungkook stepped onto the stage in custom Calvin Klein, the clothing became part of the performance itself. His movement made the fabric move. His choreography gave the silhouette energy. The stadium lighting emphasized the gradients and textures. Giant screens amplified every detail. Millions of fans watching clips online were exposed to the brand again and again. This is the kind of organic visibility that traditional advertising cannot easily reproduce. A 30-second commercial can tell consumers that a jacket is cool. Jungkook walking onto a stadium stage wearing that jacket while tens of thousands of people scream can make consumers want to know where it came from before the performance is even over. That distinction is crucial. Jungkook has become more than an ambassador. He has become a cultural bridge between fashion and fandom. Calvin Klein represents decades of American fashion history, minimalism, denim, underwear, and provocative advertising. BTS represents contemporary global pop culture, Korean entertainment, digital fandom, and a generation that consumes fashion through music, social media, and celebrity identity. Jungkook sits directly at the intersection of those worlds. When those two identities meet, the resulting impact can be enormous. This is also why the reaction to his latest concert look was so intense. Fans did not see merely another celebrity wearing designer clothing. They saw Jungkook wearing a brand with which he has built a recognizable visual identity. Over time, Calvin Klein and Jungkook have developed an aesthetic language together. Denim, clean silhouettes, understated colors, confidence, sensuality, and youthful rebellion. But Jungkook brings something that cannot simply be manufactured by a marketing department. He brings authenticity. Fans have watched his relationship with the brand develop over several years. They have seen him appear in campaigns, attend fashion events, participate in promotional projects, and eventually become involved in creating his own collection. By 2026, the partnership felt less like an advertisement and more like a creative collaboration between two recognizable identities. That evolution may be one of the biggest reasons the partnership has become so commercially powerful. The strongest celebrity brand relationships are not necessarily those in which a celebrity simply wears a logo. They're the relationships where the audience believes the partnership makes sense. Jungkook has repeatedly demonstrated an affinity for Calvin Klein style, while Calvin Klein has given him room to express his own image. The result is a partnership that feels coherent rather than forced. And that coherence is visible in the latest concert look. The custom outfit was not excessively complicated. That was part of its power. The washed denim trucker jacket and baggy jeans created a relaxed foundation. The hand-sprayed gradient gave the pieces an artistic element. The rib tank reinforced the brand's understated aesthetic. Then Jungkook's performance transformed those individual components into a complete visual statement. Fashion experts often talk about clothing as a form of storytelling. In Jungkook's case, the story was movement. The outfit was designed for a performer, not merely a photograph. Every piece had a function under stage conditions while maintaining a distinctive visual identity. That made the appearance especially appropriate for a world tour. The ARIRANG tour itself has become a massive platform for BTS's return to the global stage, and each member has attracted intense attention for their individual styling. Jungkook's relationship with Calvin Klein adds another layer to that spectacle. His clothing becomes part of the narrative surrounding the concert, and every appearance has the potential to become a fashion story of its own. This is where the phrase Jungkook effect becomes especially interesting. It is not simply fan enthusiasm. It is a combination of attention, aspiration, purchasing behavior, social sharing, and media coverage. When Jungkook wears an item, fans frequently search for the product. When they find it, they may purchase it. When the product sells out, media outlets report the sellout. That report generates additional attention, which can create even more demand. The cycle can become self-reinforcing. Calvin Klein's own leadership has openly acknowledged the strength of this phenomenon. Stefan Larsson, CEO of PVH Corporation, the parent company of Calvin Klein, described the Jungkook collaboration as the company's most successful Calvin Klein collaboration to date. During an earnings call, Larsson explained that Jungkook had been brought into the project as a co-creator, with the collaboration focused on important Calvin Klein categories, including denim, denim jackets, hoodies, and logo products. He emphasized that the collection remained true to Calvin Klein's iconic 1990s aesthetic while adding Jungkook's perspective. Most importantly, he said the collection sold out extremely quickly and that the company intended to continue pursuing similar collaborations. That is an extraordinary endorsement coming directly from the top of the parent company. It means the impact was not merely a fan theory or social media exaggeration. Calvin Klein's leadership was able to see the commercial response in its own business data. Larsson also described the global response as extraordinary, highlighting lines outside stores, strong sell-through rates, and an especially high sell-through rate on Tmall in China. According to the earnings call information, the collection achieved 99% sell-through on Tmall, while the Los Angeles pop-up completely sold out. The numbers provide an important reality check for the dramatic headlines. It would be inaccurate to say that every rise in Calvin Klein's business is solely caused by Jungkook. Calvin Klein operates across many markets, product categories, and campaigns, and PVH has numerous strategic initiatives underway. But it is entirely reasonable to say that Jungkook has become one of the brand's most powerful cultural and marketing assets. The company itself has repeatedly linked his campaigns with strong consumer engagement and commercial performance. In an earlier 2026 earnings discussion, PVH leadership noted that campaign products featuring Jungkook experienced strong sell-through, with a jacket he wore reaching 60% sell-through within 2 weeks. That helps explain why the latest concert appearance matters.